Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ, where we help you lead with purpose and succeed with impact. If you're ready to grow into the kind of leader others want to follow, this podcast is for you. If you're determined to elevate your success and leave a lasting legacy, this podcast is for you. As my mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell reminds us, everything rises and falls on leadership. Our goal is simple: to inspire you, challenge you, and equip you with insights that can transform the trajectory of your leadership journey. Welcome aboard to another episode of the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ.
May I share something I feel you can relate to? When the new year kicked off in 2013, I was on YouTube with less than 100 subscribers and one or two videos with over 1,000 views. Nothing to write home about, right? No matter what I did or tried, nothing seemed to be moving on YouTube. Can you relate? I made sure my video descriptions were all optimized. I researched my video titles to make sure they were SEO for YouTube and Google. I researched my video keyword tags. I made sure to add links back to my websites and offers. I gave some thought to the video thumbnails too, and I think that's about it. But for me, that was enough. To do one video, it took a lot of time to reach only a few viewers. Heck, I stayed at it though, and consistently, because this is where my videos should go online, right? Plus, YouTube was and still is the online video platform, so I was all in. It was tiring, time-consuming, and sometimes frustrating. Now fast forward to where I was able to fulfill my desire and dream to be on television, but not even that. To develop and own a TV channel may seem unreal to you as it was to me. I went from a mere 100 YouTube subscribers to 3,000 subscribers on my very own streaming TV channel within 2 months. You see, in 2013, I launched the iDefine TV Roku TV channel and surpassed what I achieved on YouTube for years within a few short months. You couldn't have told me at any time in my life I would have owned my own television channel with videos from indie music artists, indie filmmakers, business coaches, experts, and entrepreneurs. No freaking way. Not only that, I've had the privilege to interview some of my favorite actors because of my positioning. Having a TV channel is better than any business card, book, or online video series. People listen. Just being on TV gives you credibility and influence. Now, there's a lot more to achieve with it and in life too. So in a nutshell, anything is possible. Here's a message back to me and to you. The best has yet to come.
All right, the best is yet to come. What a wonderful guest we are going to have in just a few moments. Before we do, I am reminded of our moment of gratitude. That's what we do every single time we meet. Now, this is the second time we are broadcasting today. Just like earlier this morning, I am really grateful for freedom. Right, from June 10th to July the 4th, which will be this Saturday. I can't believe it. We are celebrating freedom on the Leadership and Success podcast. I am so grateful for the men and women in uniform of the United States of America, from the Independence War and all the way up to what we have now, the war in Iran. Our men and women in uniform, they fight for our freedom, and I'm so grateful for that. So let me know in the comments, where are you guys watching us from? Okay, where are you coming from? And also let us know what you are grateful for. And if you've got a question for CF, go ahead and type the question in the comment. We're going to be answering live. So let me see if I can properly introduce our guest. So I am really overjoyed today to sitting down with the incredible CF Jackson. She's the founder and CEO of iDefine TV. She's an author, a publisher, media strategist, and visionary entrepreneur who is helping expert authors and business leaders turn their story into global TV platform. Now, for many people, TV was once reserved for celebrities and major media companies, but CF Jackson saw something different. She saw an opportunity to democratize media and empower everyday entrepreneurs to own their story, amplify their voices, and build lasting legacy. So, growing up as an only child in St. Petersburg, Florida, TV inspired her imagination and dreams. Today, she has turned that childhood dream into reality through iDefine TV. We're going to be talking more about that. It's a streaming TV network that has empowered more than 200 entrepreneurs and thought leaders to reach audiences around the world through Roku and digital TV media. So, as CF says, right, smile, you can be on TV. And she means it. Part of what we're going to be learning today is how to turn a dream into a thriving business and media platform, but also why your story may be the legacy you leave behind. So, without any further ado, please help me welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast, the one and only CF Jackson. Good afternoon, CF. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for having me today. I need to come running down and give high fives.
I can't
Thank you
believe I
for
have a
having
media
me.
mogul right here on my screen. Man, you have an ex Oprah. How are you doing? My goodness. This is such a
Awesome.
pleasure and privilege to be talking to you. Just to get started, what is something that you are grateful for today?
I am grateful for the beautiful weather, even though it's hot.
Yes.
But I'm grateful for the weather, opportunity to be here with you all, and it's grateful for just the opportunities that I continue to get to wake up today
Mhm.
and get it right or do better or improve
Yeah.
or just be in the presence of having someone smile. Those things are just
Yeah.
so many things. Like I just had a great mango. It was
Yes.
really good. It was big. So I was really grateful for that big old mango. I'm from Florida originally, so I love a nice fruit like that.
That's so wonderful. Like you say, right? Smile. You can be on TV or maybe on a podcast. So, I'm guessing, are you coming to us from Atlanta?
Yeah, now I've been in Atlanta since 1996.
Wow.
It's funny, I wasn't trying to stay here, but I ended up being here since 1996.
Wow. We used to live in Tuscaloosa, about three hours from hot Atlanta. Gets so hot over there during the summer. But wow. Now, you often say that I define TV is for dreamers, visionaries, and doers. Which of
Mhm.
those three words best describe the young CF Jackson?
Wow. Is I would just say is that the young is a combination of all three, in terms of
Wow.
just breathing, just looking at things. I think back when I was a kid and I decided I wanted to go to college. My grandmother had just kind of had a health situation. So I was sitting there, I remember in the living room and I walked from my middle school to her house for my mom to come pick me up. I was part of the computer club. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching one of the first reality shows was People's Court. And I just wanted her to have better. So here I am at seventh and eighth
Mm,
grade. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna go to school. All I needed was $60,000 a year to take care of my grandmother. That was my dream
wow.
as a kid. It's all I needed. I'm gonna become a lawyer." And that's all I thought about at that point. And then I went on about my day, and there was came to my junior senior year. It was time to act on it. So it
Mm,
was time to now I'm visionary. I'm visionary. I'm a dreamer. It's time to do the action. I applied for one
yes.
school, got into the school, and I was a doer. So sometimes it's just a simple
Wow.
thing of learning, like, okay, as a kid and things in between, just knowing how to see something, have a mission to do it. And I just had the wherewithal to keep it to myself a little bit because sometimes, people can distract you. Oh, your grades are good. Because I was an average kid in school. Someone could easily have deterred me with having a mere 2.57. I remember 2.57 GPA. But I got into college and they gave me some money and the rest was history.
Man, that is quite a story. Thank you so much for sharing that. For somebody who just met you for the first time, CF,
Mhm.
what would you say is maybe something about you that most people may not know? Maybe, I don't know, superpower or just something unique that you do?
I go by what people tell me. So I have maybe two superpowers. Apparently I'm funny, and I think they're gonna set me up to do one of my bucket lists to do a stand up, and I don't know if it's gonna be funny
Really?
or not. But I think they set me up for that. And two, people say I make them feel comfortable when I have the opportunity to interview them. something about me being in the presence of me having a conversation with them, they feel
Yes.
comfortable and able to share. So that's one of the things I've known for a fact I'm a good listener. I like to listen to people and pay attention.
Mm. Wow. And you said three. What is the third one?
That was it. Just the two.
Okay,
Just
okay, okay.
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
I read three. Okay, okay, good, good.
uh,
Wow, that is amazing. Because I try to be a very good listener on this podcast.
yeah.
My mom used to say, "Right, God gave us 2 ears and one mouth, and I should use them in that amount." But anyway, no, like I said in the introduction, right,
Mhm.
you grew up as an only child in St. Petersburg, Florida, and
Yeah,
TV became really an escape and source of inspiration for you. How
yeah.
did those early experiences shape the leader you have become today?
I think part of it, in terms of TV and stuff, it gave me a sense of it was my escapism. I had my older cousins and all that, but we go to my grandmother's house on a weekend, and then I come back home. I'm not like totally. It was kind of boring being home with your mom all the time, but the TV sometimes gave me that vision. It allowed me to envision, like, wow, what's that? I grew into, my mom put me in music. I had to be in band. I was in band from fourth grade all the way through high
Ah,
school, and then
which
amazing.
instrument did you play?
I played the flute for all those years. In the last two, also, I added to that the French horn. So I played the French horn also my last 2 years in high school. So I was really excited about that because I finally got to play a brass instrument. I could blow, to the tweet, tweet, tweet. So
Yes.
that would taught me some things, and it just really was an insight of how to guide through things and teaching me how to do some, just music and being in the right place at the right time. So I learned a lot doing all that.
Wow. But you've already accomplished so much, including what your TV empire, which you are building. But
Yeah.
beyond all of the title, the accolade, and all of that, who is CF Jackson, the person?
I would say CF is pretty much the same. I would say the same, but the person who likes to listen to people. I love to cook. I'm learning to cook things from scratch. I love to learn as much as possible, but at the same time, take some time to breathe and take in and consume good information. I'm a
Mm,
person of positive energy and a person, like I say, gratitude. I ask people, like, what are you grateful for today? Because sometimes people, I'm amazed that people get up and
yes.
they'll walk out and don't look up in the sky, don't
Mm,
look at the birds, don't recognize, oh, there's some butterflies. It's amazing
yes.
how people go through the day and don't recognize the,
Mm,
nature all around them. That's something to me. Like today, I was driving today. I say, where are the butterflies? I have not seen any butterflies,
wow.
recently. So I'm expecting I will see some butterflies soon because I put the energy out there. So I'm a person about what I put out. I would love to receive that in return. So I'm a great, hopeful person,
Mm.
optimistic, and like to have a good time at the same time.
That's really powerful. By the way, we have a fellow Floridian on the call
Uh,
watching us live from Maitland. I think it's not far from Orlando. Uh,
yeah.
So for those watching us live on LinkedIn and YouTube, let us know where you are coming from and what you are grateful for today. And also, if you have a question for CF, type it in the comment. We will be answering live. Man, one thing you just said earlier, which I felt like was quite uh, powerful. It is gonna come back to me in a second. But you did write your first novel, "Won't Be Denied,"
Mhm.
which is very difficult to find actually. But we can go. That's why I have added it to the tracker. Let me find that right
Mhm.
here. If our people go to won'tbedenied.com, that's where
Yeah.
they can find it. It is still available, and this is what it looks like. Won't Be Denied by C.F. Jackson. So this novel that you wrote, it was
Mhm.
back in 2003. So that was a while back, what,
Yeah.
23 years ago. Looking back, how did becoming a published author prepare you to become a CEO and media entrepreneur?
A whole lot. I mean, writing a novel was something I wasn't on the path to do. It's so funny. It came to me one Saturday. I had awakened from a nap, and the title "Won't Be Denied" and the synopsis was clear. And
Wow.
maybe beforehand, I may have waken up beforehand, but this particular Saturday, I just didn't have any other thoughts in my mind. It was just that. And so I was telling a friend at the time, I said, this would be a great movie because, again, I'm into the media part
Wow.
of things. This would be a great movie. And she said, oh, you ought to write a book. And I'm like, I don't have time to write a book. And I love to read nonfiction. I didn't read fiction. My fiction
Wow.
came through the media. And so there I am on the sofa going back and forth with myself, write the book. Like, I don't have time to write a book, And then all of a sudden I heard, you want to know what your purpose is, write the book. And I was like, this is a
Mm.
very weird Saturday. So I just took heed and took action. And I just knew you need words, you need paper. And as I started
Yes.
writing the book, and it was one of the most joyful things I ever had written. Taught me
Wow.
how to study, research, to get around people who are like minded. I joined
Yes.
groups, started reading
Wow.
books. And there I was in 4 to 5 months. I had wrote this novel that was just,
5 months.
yeah,
Wow.
5 months.
People take years to write a single book,
But
sometimes
you
15 years.
But when I started, I had committed myself. I don't know, everything is synced up again. I was committed, and
Wow.
I had committed myself 8 to 10 every day. I come home, do my stuff, come from work, and eight to
That's
ten every
amazing.
night I would write. I would make sure I get to the computer, and on the weekends I would write longer. And then I would have my little notepad at work, or I'm in the car. They would talk to me at any time, and I would write down my little
Yes.
notes. Like, oh man, she gonna do this when we get home. So I get excited because I don't know. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get this. So I just wrote all the time in a little notepad, but I was committed to not
Wow.
letting it linger because it was like a story. I'm building something. And I want to see. I had no idea how it was going to unfold,
That's
so I
amazing.
want to see. So it was fun.
Now, can you tell our listener, I guess don't give out all of the details, but just
Yeah.
at the eye level, what the novel is all about?
Yeah, so pretty much in a nutshell, Mara, the main character, she take shelter one day into a bookstore, and this guy he sneezes, and she looks over to him, named Travis, and he was very handsome, very attractive. But little does he know he's in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Hmm.
So in the midst of all that, she become attracted to him, and it's kind of like a little like people call it the black version of fatal attraction.
Mhm.
And she becomes so in terms of enlightened with him, and she's just started to have some type of little specialness about herself, a little suspense novel, and get kind of caught in friendships and everything as well. But mostly she's tied into this gentleman, so he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. You never know where love
Mm.
leads you, and at the end of the day, what love won't be denied because Mare wanted it more than life itself.
Wow, that's very intriguing. Now, I normally don't read novels, but there are some exceptions. Most of the time, I like nonfiction. I like books
Yeah.
that are going to tell me exactly what to do, how to solve whatever problem I have, or give me some idea I can put in
Mhm.
place now. But I do see the need. Like my wife, my daughters, all of them, they read novels all the time. But that's just not who I am. Maybe a couple of novels I've read I
Yeah.
found quite useful. But that's really cool. So when are you gonna write your next book? This was what, 23 years ago?
I know, right? It's so funny. So when I finished that book, and I had a great response, and people could. I wanted to end it a certain way, but my characters forced me to end it the right way, and
Hmm.
so it was kind of a little
Okay, you
cliffhanger.
cannot tell us the ending, right? We need people to buy the book to find out.
I can't tell you, but yeah, it was a cliffhanger with the people who read the book. Like, "When are you gonna write a part two?" I'm looking like, I don't
Yeah.
have time for a part two. Part one was book one was easy because I had a job. I wasn't focused on anything. But once the book come out, I got to market
Mhm.
it, got to promote it, got to do a website. It was a lot more work. I don't have time to write another book. So
Yeah.
now I do have something I'm working on something now, more of a workbook to help people build their authority. So I'm on that trajectory. So
Mhm.
that should be coming out shortly. So that's after all these years. I
Yeah.
come across this path to say, okay, something nonfiction. That's my path. Education.
That's powerful because even with a fictional book, and I didn't expect that's the way the story would go. But "Won't Be Denied" is something I really really like. I feel like it's almost like the mantra for African American throughout our history, right? Everybody's saying, "No, you are not a human being." No, I won't be denied. I am a human being. You are not a U.S. citizen. No, I won't be denied. I am a U.S. citizen. Or you shouldn't have civil rights. No, no, I will have civil rights. Won't be denied. No, over and over again. It's pretty much the story of my entire life. So, thinking about that, was there a defining moment when you realized that I can create my own opportunity instead of waiting for someone to give me one? It reminds me, what was her name? Shizam, right? The first black woman to run for president. She said, like, if they
Mhm.
won't allow you to have a seat at the table, you need to bring your own chair. I really love that
Yeah.
mindset. That's how things happen. That's kind of what you made me think of. But was there a moment in time where you realized that you would create your own opportunity in the media business?
Yeah. So one caveat is so interesting. In college, I had the pleasure and honor of meeting Shirley Chisholm, and I got an autograph, and I still have.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I still have an autograph on the actual program. Was in college, like, I don't
Wow.
know if it's worth anything, but when I saw her, I said, "Man, we got to get that," and I still have it in pristine condition. But
Yeah.
it was nothing that was really. in terms of, you always see the Jetsons was always the future of things.
Hmm.
And it's amazing how things have evolved to somewhat we are in the the
Yes.
Jetsons age, where it's cell phones and the robots and all this kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
I never thought of that kind of stuff back then. But back in 2013, somebody had mentioned Roku to me, and I had never heard of it before. And so the first time I heard about it, I came home and Googled it, and I saw that
Wow.
Sony had a streaming device. So many people
Wow.
didn't probably even know that Sony had a streaming device. So me, as we all know, it's an international brand. So I bought the Sony because we grew up with Sony
Yes.
Walkman, boombox, DVD player,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And I
Walkman
bought
change history for sure.
right. So I bought that, and then 6 months later, a friend of mine came to me and said, "Yo, you can get on TV with this Roku." I'm like, okay, I've only heard of Roku 2 times, but how can I get on this Sony though? Because we all heard about Sony. Now, granted, nobody had this but me probably, but how can I get on Sony? And I couldn't figure it out. So I said, "Gosh, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and spend another like $60. Let me buy this thing." So I bought the Roku, and at that moment in time, my world is opened up. It was
Wow.
better layout, more content, it was more aesthetically pleasing.
That's amazing.
And being in Atlanta networking, being with so many entrepreneurs, and I heard I can get on there, but no, if I can get on there, how can I help others get on there? And that was the whole
Wow.
catalyst right there. Like I've been around all these entrepreneurs, and we all
It's
deemed it
amazing.
unattainable because of their price point. If I can
Hmm.
do it and do it in ways affordable, I'm
Yes.
all in. And that's how it all started back in 2013.
That's amazing. Because most people they would look at the Roku device and think, I want to be entertained, right? I want to watch the content from somebody
Yeah.
else. But you're like, no, I want to create my own content and broadcast it from there. That is a different way of thinking. Where do you think that entrepreneurial spirit came from?
I have no clue. I mean, that was something that was unique because of the fact that I've always loved media. Back in the day, even with like buying music, I love music again, being in
Mhm.
band. I would buy a soundtrack, and I don't think they even put much emphasis as they did
Yeah.
back in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s in the
Mhm.
soundtrack. I would buy a soundtrack. I hear watch a movie, like, oh, this is a bomb soundtrack. I'm buying the
Wow.
soundtrack because you hear some of your favorite artists release
Hmm.
albums and tracks that you want to hear on the radio. So
Yes.
it's something that I've always just loved about
Wow.
cinematography. Spike Lee was one of my first directors and filmmakers that
He's a
I came
legend. Yeah.
right. So I looked at him as movies, like he did different things and how he motioned
Wow.
people. So
That's amazing.
again, TV was something that I looked at, I think, with a different set of eyes, and I paid
Hmm.
attention because it became a world that I was able to tap into just by visually looking at it and say, wow.
That is amazing. In your family, were there any like entrepreneur, business founders, or business
No, I
owners?
one time my uncle, actually he ended up sharing with me that he had a painting company. Nobody knew that, I think. And we was talking one day. He said he painted houses. I said, really? I said, Uncle Dave, you had
Wow.
a painting company? Yeah, I messed it all up and everything, but no one knew. I said, Uncle, that's my mom.
Wow.
Did you know your brother had a painting company? Woo, David. I said,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing. Wow, that is something. Because when I was growing up, my mother especially was a great inspiration to me. She always started new businesses and new venture all the time. I mean, she was very very talented for that. I think it kind of rubbed on me just a little bit. But wow, that is something. So it was 2013, right? Like you say, you discovered Roku, and immediately, you saw all of the possibility, just like you described, that so many other people had missed. For what leadership lesson have you learned about seeing opportunities before everyone else?
That's a good question. I would say I learned one thing, and it kind of goes back to initially when I'm in my 20s, when I wanted to start something back in my 20s. I had the
Hmm.
idea that I wanted to, in my 20s, was you go out here in Atlanta, you go out, go to the club, you eat out, and hang out with your girlfriends. And one of my ideas was, okay, hey, maybe I can get invited to the restaurants for free, go to the clubs for
Mm.
free, do a review, and it's all for free. I can bring some of my friends in. That was my idea. And then I told a friend at the time about it, and she shot it down. And I learned that very moment, and then like a little while after that, that became the thing. People would do reviews. They would go to the restaurants. They would make out
Mhm.
publications, and then put them out across Atlanta. And you would go to, and like I could have been doing that, but I had thought I
Yes.
needed someone to come along with me. And so I
Mm.
learned from that very moment to, as a leadership, is like make sure I maintain and stay focused on what's given to me, because not everyone's going to see it
Ah,
or
that's
need
fun.
to come along with me. So I've learned to be very mindful and very strategic of who I need
Mm,
to share things with. But I know from there, no matter what's given to
mm.
me, I'm going to move forward no matter what.
Wow, that is so powerful. All right. Many entrepreneurs do struggle, right? Because they
Yeah,
wait until everything is perfect before they
yeah.
make a move. You preach start where you are. I love that. Why is that message so important?
Because people get caught in this thing called perfection. Many moons ago, I went to this event and oh, Mike Littman. I'm gonna give him his
Hmm.
credit. Mike Littman stated at this event, he was stating that most entrepreneurs spend or most people try to spend their time getting it perfect at an A level. And if they get to the point when to get an A level, they never get it done. He said most of the time your audience, whoever you're trying to target, only needs you at a C grade. And you get
Wow.
started and you build your way up to get better and better and better. But most times people want to be at the A level, and when they're trying to get to the A level, and I've seen
Mhm.
people who
I
have
love that.
everything, got there and never did anything. So
Yes.
time wasted, money wasted, all the energy. But just
Mhm.
come in there because they just need the information. They need to learn from you. So go in
So
and see a
powerful.
level and grow your way up.
I love that. I believe it was Les Brown, one of my mentors, who said the richest place in any city is the cemetery. Actually, the first time I heard that was Monroe. But I think
Mhm.
it is so true. Most people, they die with a lot of dreams, ideas. Like you said, you had the idea to become a reviewer, making a career out of it, but for some
Yeah.
reason you didn't go for it. And I wonder, even in our own lives, we think about,
Mhm.
I see this on TV, but I had this idea myself 5 years ago or 2 years ago, but I didn't do anything
Yeah.
about it. And now it might be too late for you to get into it. Well, that's really great advice. But I think, again, for most people, I guess they are afraid, right? Afraid that if I do it, I might fail. So what would you tell them? What if I fail?
Well, you've already failed many times before, so what's the difference? I'm sure you failed when you was a kid trying to walk. You failed when you
Yes.
tried to eat by yourself. You got all your food on the, we
Yes.
failed so many times.
I love
It's a creature of it's nature at times. But the thing is,
it.
even if you do fail, you're gonna learn something from it. You're gonna grow
That's it.
from it.
That's it.
You're gonna
That's
expand yourself on it. And most times, somebody said when you go to a certain point,
it.
you're gonna stretch yourself to where you don't want to retract to go backwards. So
Yes.
you want to continue to push forward. But it's the fun of
Mhm.
it. How you make fun of it, have joy out of it, and learn from it. So keep pushing forward because
I
you
love that.
may.
Learning with joy. I really love that. It reminds me of Thomas Edison, right? It took him, they say, 10,000 trials before he was able to find the incandescent light bulb 10,000
Yeah,
times. But the way
yeah,
he looked at it is, I have found 10,000 ways it doesn't work. Therefore, the way
yeah.
it works is just around the corner. And eventually he got there. It really takes a completely different mindset to be an entrepreneur, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It takes the time to really tap into yourself to listen. Some block out times people around you. Don't get
Mhm.
caught in the shiny ball syndrome because even
Yeah,
now with social media, you need to be on this AI, you need to be on this website. It's so many
yeah.
things. But I think the joy was what do you feel out of it? Get out
Mm,
of it and where are you pressing to accomplish? Because it's so funny, years ago I was talking to my grandmother before she passed away. I learned from her because she was entrepreneur in her own way. This is my dad's mom
wow.
and she
Okay,
was,
that's where it came from. The question I asked you earlier. That's what I was looking for.
oh.
What drive
but
you have comes from your grandma.
well, she was more so she helped keep homes clean. So she helped. She was a domestic worker,
Hmm.
and so she was telling me some of the things she did. My grandmother. One of the things I think people I know. I want to think. I know those who are most successful live very unapologetic. And this
Hmm.
woman, short as she wanted to be, she was very unapologetic. But
Yes.
she one thing I learned from her was talking one time that when people been in Florida, that those who were from up north, they would leave in the summer to go back up north because of the heat in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And what she learned was that people would say, "Well, we're gonna," what would she say? They would want her to come. They want her to stay and be their worker, but she needed the pay. And so she said,
Yes.
"Well, if you need me to still be here when you get back, you need to pay me. I have kids. I got bills to pay."
Mm.
And so they would pay her during the summertime while they were gone. And I'm like, "Grandma, you was a housekeeper on retainer." I'm looking
That's
like,
right.
who does that?
That's right. Wow. I love it. You said unapologetic, so I need to just plug it in. My mentor wrote this book, Unapologetically Ambitious. And
Ah,
one of the best books I've ever read, Shelley Archambault. I think
okay.
everybody needs to read this. It really gives you the courage to take
Yeah,
action on your ambition and what you really, really want, not just doing what everybody else expect of
yeah,
you. Because
yeah.
something you said that you learned from Mike Littman, right? Most people they wait until they are perfect before they launch.
Yeah,
When the secret is to launch where you are right now, even if it's not at A, it's at
exactly.
not even at B, even if it's at C. Just get started, and then with time you make it better and better and
Yeah,
better. It's really getting started. Like I remember even this podcast I started 5 years ago. You need to go back and listen to the first episode I did. Nobody listened to it but me. Maybe my wife did just a little bit, but it was terrible, absolutely terrible. Nothing like what it is now. But anyway,
yeah,
keep doing it week after week, month after month, year after year. After
yeah,
5 years, even if you're an idiot, your fifth year product is going to be so much better than your very first year
exactly.
product than your pilot. So really, my message here is you have to start where you are. Just jump off and get going. If you succeed, great. If you don't succeed, at least you will learn, right? And then you
Yeah,
can use that knowledge for something else. So
exactly.
powerful. Actually, we have a question from the audience. So
Hmm.
uh, here we go. Daniel from Florida says, when you help an entrepreneur build a TV platform, are you simply helping them with a marketing task, or we engineering an identity shift that forces them to operate with a higher, consistent standard of governance? Interesting question.
Interesting question. It is. My goal when someone wants to have their own, build their own television platform is about defining what is that they want
Hmm.
and helping them with the nuances of it. Where are they comfortable with? Where they're not comfortable with? So it's a pretty much a whole entire compass. I'm having a conversation to see what they would like to do and how they want to achieve it. We have
Hmm.
people, for example, who's a creator. She has her own. Um, Producing her own content. So her goal and her mission, what she wants to do, she wants to bring on other creators who are in the media world, who are creating
Hmm.
shows and movies and things of that nature. So pretty much sometimes mostly everybody's coming to mirror what I have achieved and do it in their own way. And that's
Yeah.
how I help people. So it's all about what they want and how they want to achieve it and what they foresee themselves achieving, again, what their legacy is for their projects.
And people who need your help, they can just go to iDefineTelevision.com and they can contact you there, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
That is powerful. All right, so let's talk about some of the leadership lessons you have learned so far in your career, because you have empowered, like we said in the intro, more than 200 entrepreneurs to tell their
Yeah.
stories on TV. That's big. So, what have you learned about leadership by helping others succeed?
I've learned a lot in terms of paying attention. I think overall is being self-aware. And
Hmm.
again, like I said, I like to listen to people and guide people to in the direction that they need to be led, and not because oh,
Yes.
I think you should be over here. Because sometimes people are a little heavy-handed, and at the
Mhm.
same time, a good leader, this may not be a good fit for you right now. I
Yes.
think sometimes you need to start this. Sometimes people are so timid. You're not even ready for TV right now. I just need you to pull your phone out and do some little short videos. Let's get that
Yes.
started first, because people just they gotta get comfortable and see where they are. So for
Hmm.
me, it's recognizing what someone wants, what their needs are, and what they are able to do, because it requires time. As you know, it takes time to strategize, to outline, to put the show together week after
Hmm.
week, day after day, twice a time. You do it twice a day. So some
Wow.
people you want to be consistent with it and do it over and over again. So
Yeah.
me, for myself, is paying attention and guiding people and where they need to be. But overall, I still guide people all the time, no matter where you are. You got
Mm.
to create contents, because we're all content creators right now, and there is no excuse, none
Yes.
whatsoever, because we got cameras in our hands all day and every day.
That's pretty amazing. Instead of being a content, what should I say? No, viewing the content for everybody else, right? Being
Mm.
able to create your own.
Yeah.
That is powerful. So, what qualities do you think separate those entrepreneurs who thrive from those who never quite get started? What's the difference?
I think sometimes is hesitation comes from fear of, you asked me before about failure. Also, sometimes fear of what other people would think if they fail, or this fear overall sometimes. And then
Mm.
those who do it, they want to see the outcome. Sometimes people are just victorious, want to see what can happen. I remember when I was a kid, we also saw things on television. We would go into the neighborhood, find certain things, and we might not
Mhm.
have all the different tools, but we try to make a little pad or something, or a little go-kart. But we want to see how it looks. It's going to fall apart possibly, but just having that vision of having something given to you and wanting
Mm.
to see how the outcome's going to be. So it's having desire, wanting to see the outcome, and if it does, but don't want to wait till 20 years later. I should have,
Yes.
could have, would have. I wish I had like I stated,
Mm.
because nothing's new under the sun. It's just those
Uh,
who decided to take the action, the leap of faith, and move forward.
That is powerful. So, what does courage then look like in entrepreneurship?
Courage look the same, and doing it when it's all looking when things look rough.
Mm,
Having the courage to continue to say, okay, if I turn this way, let's turn this way. Of course, asking for help when you need it, but continue
mhm,
to move forward because at the end of the gate. Like when I started iDefine TV back in 2013, Roku
mhm.
had only came out in 2008.
Wow.
People were still not really recognizing what Roku is. I can't hate on them because I didn't know what it was.
Hmm.
People were still watching Netflix on their devices, on their computers, on their smartphones, their tablets. I'm like,
Hmm.
you can watch it on this Roku. You can watch it on the big screen now. Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay. Like, no, get the
Wow.
Roku. So it's like having something that I really had no clue how much it was going to grow, but
Wow.
it was something unique. So having the foresight to say, I'm going to keep on going, and
Hmm.
whatever happens, happen. But have fun while you're on the journey and make it do the best you can do with it.
That is so, so, so powerful. Wow. Because you have built multiple businesses, and how has your leadership style evolved over the last 20 years?
Ooh, a lot. I mean, when I first started, I created a publishing company, and that was out of necessity because when I wrote my novel Won't Be Denied, I went
Hmm.
through the process of I gave myself some time to shop it. I wanted to find me an agent, I wanted to find me a
Hmm.
publishing company, and this is pretty on demand time frame. And I said,
Yeah.
okay. And people get okay, they call them rejection letters. I told myself I wasn't rejected. I called them just not interested in me right now. So I call them just
Yes.
not interested letters because I refuse to be rejected. This is
Amen to that.
what you put out in
Yeah.
the
Won't
world.
be denied, right? Won't be denied.
Exactly. It's so funny because I deemed it as a mantra. It's amazing how it came about, the title for a book, Pound of Suspense, but I turned it
Hmm.
into a mantra. I
Yes.
had T-shirts and everything. I did turn it into a whole world of
Wow.
motivation and everything. But I just
It's
took the
amazing.
time to say, okay, how can we make things happen and do things in the right way? But just having confidence and moving forward.
Wow, that is so, so inspirational. All right, let's talk about media and personal branding. You are
Mhm.
very, very good at that. You say that authority is the moneymaker.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, authority creates opportunity, and opportunity therefore leads to the path of income, revenue, and things of that nature. And authority is created by, like we're doing here, you being an awesome host of your show, me being the guest, or vice versa.
Mhm.
Authority creates a lot of people opportunity to get to know
Is
you.
that an invitation to your show? It looks like you said vice versa. Okay, I'll say
Hey,
yes.
come on in. Well, it gives
Okay.
people the opportunity to know you in a way that texting and graphics and things
Mhm.
reading would not get to as quickly as you
Oh,
can having a conversation as we are. Now some people
yes.
say, oh, she's kind of funny, or she's kind of stoic, or she's kind of
Mhm.
blah. But it gives people opportunity to know who you are if they want to connect with you, work with you, follow
Yeah.
you. And so that's where authority comes into it, and it becomes a quicker asset compared to
Mhm.
just being behind some texting. Because people get comfortable just posting,
Yeah.
and it takes time to really build that authority, and it's faster in a way. So it's a moneymaker because it creates opportunity in more of a rapid way. You think about it, I had an opportunity to be in the same platform with you speaking a couple weeks ago, and
Yes.
boom, there we were. You said, she sounded all dynamite. Let me have her
Yes.
on my
Yes.
show. And there we are. Because that I could have been texting all day, like, oh, we'll meet up
Mhm.
sometime. I was doing it behind a post or something. But the
Yes.
conversation that we had and what you saw me presenting
Mhm.
brought forth a quicker, it cut down the size of me, the
So
time
true.
span. So that's why it's a
Mm.
moneymaker because it cuts down on the time of trying to reach somebody in your audience.
Because it seems like in the world of social media today, I would say personal branding is no longer optional, is it?
No, I wish. I remember back in the day as a kid, I could care less who made those potato chips, as long as they were fresh
Yeah.
and crunchy. But now we're all warriors now. I was telling the other day, yesterday,
Yes.
people want to know who is this and who is that. They want to know the story. And sometimes they really don't know the story. They just want to just be
Mhm.
nosy. But we do
Yeah.
have to have some form of having a dialogue of some personal part of it as
Mhm.
well as the professional side of it because we want to know what's going on with this person.
That is really something. Like I know my wife has a show she really likes. She watched it on YouTube. It's a woman. somewhere where there's ice everywhere. I don't know if it's in somewhere in Europe, but anyways, about an hour long. But she just lives her life in the Arctic, ice everywhere, or dogs or whatever. My wife would just keep watching over and over and over again. She even published a book. It became a number one bestseller because people around the world, they like to watch her on YouTube. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And now I believe she does that full time. She doesn't have to work any longer. All of the ads she gets on her YouTube channel, she makes like hundreds of $1,000s a year just filming us herself. It's just amazing.
It
Uh,
is. Especially the ones I get caught up in my algorithm, like the people is one I don't watch her anymore because she got a little fancy now. Once you get too fancy, like oh now you don't got high tech.
yeah.
This young lady came across. She lives in her car. She had this whole Spencer van. She pimped it out. Had a bath. I mean, it was really
Mm,
nice. And I was wondering like, oh, people living in that van. So I mean, I didn't go watch her, but she fell in the timeline. I will watch
mhm.
her, whatever. Then she got a
Yeah.
little fancier, and then she started getting the drone, and like you don't got
Yeah.
too fancy now. I don't want to watch you no anymore.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
it was
Interesting.
interesting to hear and see people how they live because it's kind of like a
Yes.
story.
Yes. Yes. That is pretty interesting. Now, one thing that was pretty cool is my wife is trying to learn French, and it's kind of
Oh,
cool to see people who live in French-speaking countries and
yeah.
stuff. You learn about the culture, the language, and the people. But anyway, so how can professional and leaders use media to increase their credibility and influence?
It goes back to what we were saying. It gives people a quicker eye into you. So
Mhm.
definitely they use it in a way, like I say, personally, of course, you want to give people some insight. You have a balance. I know people who just go straight and they just only doing business, and people still want to know who you are. So for
Mhm.
my first did my very first Facebook Live, didn't know if it was working or not. I'm like, is anybody out there? And I just started realizing that every time I did a Facebook Live, I'm always in the grocery store. I'm always in the produce section. But that became my kind of my stint there. I'm out
Yeah.
and about to do a Facebook Live, and I'm telling them how to find one of my favorite fruit. This is how you pick a good mango. And I'm always
Yes.
shopping. But at least they knew that okay, here comes CF. She likes to shop and she's in the grocery store. Or then I go to the other side. But it helps kind of mirror. People want to know who you are so they can use it in a way. Some personal
Mhm.
stuff that makes you fun, get to know your
Yes.
personality at the same time, business side of things because and you
Mm,
don't have to
yeah.
be perfect at it. My mom, who's a music artist, and she gets on there and I say, "Just play your music," because she has a great following
Mm,
of people. Oh, I said, they don't care about your face. They just
wow.
want to hear you play the music, you know. And she gets stuck to where she want to get all dolled up. I say, they know
Yes.
you're not at home on a Tuesday evening all dolled up. Just play some music and let them know what's going on. It's history music
Uh,
history month or something. But just know,
stuff.
share some stuff and start bringing people on your journey, whatever it may be, and they're gonna come
Mhm.
to a good gather who you like. You say your wife watching
Powerful.
that show, she following her. She's getting to know. She's building a
Ah,
relationship with her.
which instrument does your mom play?
She plays acoustic guitar.
Wow, powerful. Does she
Yeah,
sing also?
yeah. She sings, she writes, she compose. She just
Huh.
dropped her own book, a book this year. So now she's in the space of being an author, but she's loving this space of being an author.
Oh my goodness! I think I should have her on the show. What is her name? Can I find her music on Apple Music?
You may. I'm sure she's out there. She's all out there. It's Veronica with a K, not the C. Veronica with a K
Wow.
Jackson. Go to veronicajackson.com.
Okay, I will be looking for Veronica Jackson. Maybe she should be on the show next time. So you guys are a music family. You play the flute and the French trombone. Wow, that is pretty cool. And
Yes.
earlier you also mentioned that you like to cook. What is the favorite meal you like to to cook?
Huh. One thing that blew my mind when I learned, because I'm learning to do a lot of things from scratch, and I
Hmm.
love spaghetti. And once I've learned how to make my own spaghetti sauce,
Wow,
sky was the limit. I have not looked
that's
at another spaghetti jar or ragu or
that's
pesto
wonderful.
or nothing. I've
Yeah.
been doing it myself, and it's just amazing. I was like, man, it's amazing because it's
Wow.
less all the other stuff I put what I want to put into it. I put my bell peppers, my onions. I put a little
Nice.
zucchini and put my mushrooms. I've been so excited with kind of stuff like that. So that I get
Wow.
excited about. So I want to learn how to make some other stuff because it takes time to get in the kitchen. But it's
Yes.
just amazing to make some things. Oh, one of the things I made it was I made a butternut squash pie, and it tastes like sweet potato pie. My
Hmm.
mom did not believe it because it looks like it, and so when
Yeah.
she ate it, I said, "See, and it's
Amazing.
healthier too."
Wow, that is really cool. I guess we have two kids, and our youngest one is gonna be out of the house this fall, going to college. She
Okay.
knows how. I think she knows enough how to survive if she needs to. Because when you're a college student, you have to learn how to cook some few basic meals just to stay alive. But
Yeah.
very important skill. Wow. Now, if you were to advise an executive, no, they want to become a thought leader and they want to use media, what would you tell them how to begin?
I would say begin with where you are, feel comfortable. One of the simple things is, again, people think they have to go out and pay for all of these bells and whistles. Like you stated, you started out 5 years ago with what you had.
Mhm.
And I think most people kind of get kind of overwhelmed because they're trying to reach the end zone. And you just now, you just punted the ball. You can't get to the end zone yet. You just punted the ball. This, you got to get
Mm,
some downs like you did, like we did. So start where
yes.
you are and say, well, what is my objective? What do I want to do? What's my goal?
Mhm.
If it's starting, if you feel comfortable not doing business but doing personal stuff like me, shopping in the grocery store, if you're in the
Mhm.
garden, whatever it may be, just start where you're feeling more confident on the camera and sharing who you are a little bit. It doesn't have to be a long, lengthy
Mm.
thing. Just start where you are and get moving that way, and then listen to
I
what
love
people
that.
say, get some engagement, and then feel more confident. I tell people all the time, and don't look at yourself in the phone.
Mm.
Find the lens so you can connect with the people, because that's one of the things
Yes.
that blow my mind. He's like, and you look at and people look at the video like, do you not know you're not looking at the lens? Find the lens so you can connect with the people, and for you
Yes.
know it, it's a bomb, it's a good deal, and you'll learn from there. You'll feel it. Think to me,
Mm.
organically where you want to go.
Wow. Some tips from the expert. I love that because you remind me of something else, right?
Yeah.
A mentor told me on average it takes about 5 years for people to become an expert at anything, but 10,000 hours, five
Mm,
years. That means anybody and everybody who's an expert right now, when they first started, they were a novice just like you are. So if you just
yeah.
get started, 5 years from now, you can become the expert.
Yeah.
But it will never happen unless you take action today. So hopefully that's gonna encourage someone. So let's talk a little bit about resilience and personal growth because I think it takes a lot of
Yeah.
resilience to become a successful entrepreneur.
Ugh, yeah.
Entrepreneurship, I know, can be quite lonely. What challenges have tested you the most so far?
In terms of just, again, having the right people around you,
Hmm.
joining, like for example, when I had started, I stepped out into entrepreneurship in 2008. I was in telecom, and my contract ended. It was like Bell South had just bought out AT&T.
Hmm.
And so, like, when I was in telecom, I had been laid off so many times. So the first time I got laid off, I cried. But the second time, third time, my skin had got a little thickened, so I wasn't really kind of stressing it. But I had made a goal at that point. I was in my 20s. But in 2008, when I kind of like was there, I said, okay, what am I going to do? I'm home all the day by myself. I got to get around
Hmm.
people. And I stretched myself, and I went on to meetup.com. I said, I need to find a group of people to go around. And there was this group. It was called the Atlanta Millionaire something something. I don't know what it was, but I said, okay, let me go down here. So I would go down to Midtown, and I met this group of people. And
Mm,
people, when they saw us at times, I didn't think nothing about it. I'm here in Atlanta. What they saw sometimes, pictures we took or footage we had, that it was a very unique meeting of people because they never saw that many people of color, and it
wow.
wasn't all entrepreneurs, internet marketers, and all that. But it was the norm for
Yes.
me. So I had forced myself. I said I got to get out around people. So when it comes to being lonely, you got to get around people who are striving and thriving for something different, who are higher than you. I had some top notch people making 6 and 7 figures, and so I
Hmm.
had a great connection of people. So forcing yourself to get around people, that was one of the things that I learned that kind of got that kind of, but that was my catalyst. Every month I knew I had a
Wow.
group of people who's gonna, what you working on, what you doing, or they call me, or what you working on, and get some tips and
Mhm.
strategies. So you got to get around people who's gonna encourage you and empower you just by being in
Yes.
the atmosphere.
So powerful. So, was there a time in your entrepreneurship where you've considered quitting?
Shoot, yeah. I mean, when I first started with the whole iDefine TV, it was a challenge because when I said, okay, I want to do this, and I had to find the developer, and there were some things that I was required to do on the technical side that I wasn't
Mhm.
skilled at, but I had already pre-sold some of these spots and everything, and
Wow.
yeah, and I
You are
remember this
ambitious.
couple.
I love that.
Right? Oh yeah. And I spoke with a young lady, and she was they did international world music, and she was based in Sweden. And her
Yes.
name's Belinda, her husband, and we're talking and everything. And she said, "Oh, thank you, CF, you're helping us independent music
Wow.
artists get seen and everything." And then it was like middle of the night, and I heard Belinda's voice. "Oh, thank you, CF." I was like, if I had not pre-sold this thing, I would have been out of here. So that was,
Yes.
it was stressful. Like, how I do this? Well, how you move this part? So many a
Wow.
times there are some parts you want to quit, but then it's so many, it's amazing how life speaks and how the
Yeah.
spirit speaks and something grand happened. Like,
You
oh, get
you
me over
just
that one little hump,
you
and
just
one
figured
little
it out.
thing.
Yeah. Wow. What did that experience teach you about yourself?
Special. You endure. I must be enduring all this bad because entrepreneurship it's a rough road to be on.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but I've learned that I
It's
want to see
amazing.
the outcome. I know it's greater each day, each month.
Yes.
I want to see the grand finale. And one of the
Wow.
things is like when I saw who was it when when Coretta Scott King had passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and I really never paid attention to someone's homegoing. And there it was, I'm looking at her service, and I'm at the job, and they had it on in the break room. And I looked at it, not to be haughty or anything like that, but it's amazing how many people she touched. And I'm
Yes.
looking like, I would love to have nothing that big, but I want to make sure I touch a lot of people at the end of
Mhm.
the day. And that's where the grand scheme of things is, how can you make a difference to where at the end of the day, when it comes to an end,
Yes.
people can come and say they're in awe of the life that you touch. And I've been to somebody who's
Mm.
an everyday person, who her home going, and I'm like, this is an everyday woman. And she's local, and she had the whole church packed out. I'm like, oh, Mrs. Kelly was
Wow.
an awesome woman because she grew. I appreciated her because she reminded me of my mother's mom who had passed away
Mhm.
many, many moons ago. So I had kind of gravitated to her because she reminded me of my grandmother and my mom's side. And then
Mm.
she passed away. All these people, like, you never know somebody who all the lives you can touch by moving in the
Yes.
right direction and doing what you're supposed to do.
Wow. That is legacy. And talking about your mom, can you confirm that this is your mother?
Yeah, that's her.
Wow, that's amazing, Veronica Jackson. Okay, I definitely need to have her on this podcast.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite song of your mom?
Oh, I think I like the song, the title of her album, her latest album, which is the title of her book too, "The Woman I
Mhm.
Am." It's a very good
Oh,
song.
so I got the right album. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's her last album she did, and she wrote the book titled "The Woman I Am."
Wow.
Then it's subtitled "Strings of Truth" is the subtitle of her book. So she's able to tell. She took 10 songs from the she wrote, and she
Mhm.
was able to tell how the song came about, which allows her to tell her story through these 10 songs.
That is quite amazing. Wow, that is just fantastic. Okay, how do you overcome self doubt and maintain confidence during difficult season? Because when you're an entrepreneur, you're gonna go
Yeah.
through difficult season at some time. How do you handle
Sometimes,
it?
sometimes you just go through it. You just have those moments. You gotta have a pity party. Gotta have the self doubt. But then at the same time, I have to go, okay, who would I need to talk to get out of this
Yes.
funk? So I have certain people I need to talk to.
Hmm.
And then who I missed the most is my dad's mom. She just recently passed like 2 years ago, three
Sorry
years
to hear
ago.
that.
And she was my weekend call. We would go through all things conversation about politics, from family, but gossip. So
Mhm.
she was my outlier. I was kind of needed some type of readjustment. But there's self doubt. I just reach out to those who I know who are on my journey, and who I can reach out to and connect with them and just have a conversation. And sometimes just having a day of vegetating on the sofa and watching some movies or watching
Mhm.
something entrepreneurial. That's some of the ways I kind of get out myself, and watching somebody to inspire me, encourage me. Shark Tank. One of my
Yes.
favorite shows back in the day was The Prophet. Ooh, that was a great show. It's not anywhere for free. You got to buy in it on CNBC, but it really
Mhm.
was one of those shows where you constantly got nuggets. He walked you through the process. Like getting an MBA seemed like it with that guy, but just
Mm.
watching stuff like that kind of keeps me realigned.
That is quite amazing. On this last segment of the show, I kind of want to get into your head, kind of
Oh.
understand some of the principles that have helped you be as successful as you are today. So, one of the first questions I have for you is, what do you think is one of the greatest lessons you have learned so far, just
Like I
in
shared
life,
earlier,
in leadership, in general?
one like I said, sharing, making sure when you have a vision or goal, being mindful who to share that with,
Yes.
and not allowing someone to distract you, deter you. If something's given to me, that means for me to achieve it. And it may make
Yes.
2 years, maybe 5 years, but just being sure who I share it with, that's important.
Yes. That's powerful. And why do you think you've been so successful? What's the secret to your success?
Continue to keep moving, and then the people I have around me, they encourage me, and being able to pivot. I mean, I started out writing a novel. I didn't stay in that box there. I only got to. It's so funny because initially when I had created my publishing company, I said, "Oh, I can help other people become published. I'm going to publish
Mhm.
other people." So I got my first client. I was working at Bell South at the time, and someone said, "I heard you have a book publishing company. You wrote a book." I said, "Yes." It was so easy back in the day having a job. You can bring people
Yes.
in all day. I said, "Yeah." So he wrote his book. I said, "Yeah, we can publish it for you," and all that, yada, yada, yada. Then at that very moment, I was looking like, I'm going to finish this project. So I would not be publishing anybody else's work.
Yeah.
I learned
Wow.
early what's for me and what's not for me. So I said, a book of one for my, no. So, but
Yeah.
I taught him how to do it. And this guy has been
Mhm.
prolific in writing books and publishing himself.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, I know that leaders are learners. What are you learning these days?
We all learn about this twofold. I'm learning about AI, of course. That's one
Mm.
of the things. But at the same time, I'm learning to we call it, I want to make some things lean within my business and automate a little bit more.
Yes.
So not having cutting some stuff, cut away the fat, and just keep making things lean and being more a little automated,
Mhm.
make it more simplistic.
Yes, and we've already kind of talked about failure earlier. We talked about failing
Mhm.
forward, but I guess one question I have for you is, what failure ultimately became one of your greatest blessings? Looking back.
Oh, what one of my greatest failures? Ooh, hmm. Well, one of my greatest failures was when I, to be transparent. So I went to college my first year. I did okay. My first semester, I did okay. And I was kind of disappointed. I always say when you go to college, you're going to drop a grade, you're going to go back. Again, I told you all I was an average kid, 2.57. I said, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be okay. So and I was proud of my maintaining that 2.5 or up, So I got my first semester, I think I was like 2.1, 2.2. And I was disappointed in myself. Like a
Mm,
2.2, but it was kind of hard. But my mom was happy with it. Oh, okay, she okay with it. I'm fine with it. So I go back, but then I kind of fell all the way back. And I actually flunked out. I flunked out of school. I had at one point something. I was so livid with myself. So then I was pretty much
mm,
scared too. I said, I got my grades. I had to cry. I'm about to cry. My mom gonna beat my butt with a
mm,
point. But I felt. I literally felt, but then I didn't stop. So my
mm,
mom, I was depressed, I was disappointed. My mom came in and she kind of beat my butt. She remembers this day. Remember I came in the room and I told you and I pulled the curtains back. We're not gonna be in here crying. We're gonna come up
mm,
with a
mm,
game plan. So we came with a game
mm,
plan. And I went back. I lost my scholarships and everything, but we went back, and then I had to make some restructures. I ended up transferring, but that was taught me
mm.
where that because something happened, that was not the school for me. I had
Yeah.
to make some adjustments. And I was committed that I was going there. Remember, I was going because my grandmother. And at the
Yes.
same time, that by the time I reached my second year, she had passed. But I was going to, I got to complete it. So
Yes.
those types of things where it's like I wanted to see the outcome. And then when I transferred, I was so in such a great,
Mm,
I was so excited because I got better grades. I was part of a
yes.
quarter system. So showing when you pivot, move around, make adjustments, that was one of the failures. That's one of my ultimate failures in it. But I didn't stop. I said, I got a 1 point some odd GPA. I just cried my little eyes out. I was so embarrassed myself.
Wow, you did not give up. Where do you think that resilience comes from? Where you just won't quit and you keep going and going until you get the outcome?
I don't know. I think it could become some could be genetics, and commitment. I mean, that was a commitment when I started. That
Yeah.
was, I mean, I didn't see that was an outcome
Mhm.
other than finishing school. I mean, I saw it just like being in grade school or high school. You go and you're going to get the diploma.
Mhm.
College, like I'm going to get the degree. Granted, it costs. And then at
Yeah.
the end of the day, when I transferred down, it became my financial
Mm.
responsibility. And I got loans and I paid them off as time went on. But hey, it was
Wow,
something that I wanted to see happen. And okay, can I make it happen? And it did. So I just think it's something that's
that's amazing.
responsibility.
Great,
Yeah.
great achievement. Thank you for sharing that. What is one of the greatest fear you've had to overcome?
Um, I guess like anything, would it to see again reaching the next level of seeing how it would evolve.
Mm,
Will things change because society in terms of how things pivot? Because things are changing.
yeah.
Who would have thought AI would have came out? I mean, it came
Yeah,
out of nowhere, and boom, it's knocking people out of their jobs, it's knocking people on their butt. So
yeah,
just not a fear, but just recognizing and staying on path. And how can I keep something that's for me, that no
mm,
matter what happens around, that can still be in the right place. That, oh,
yes,
Roku goes broke tomorrow, I still created a nice, oh, she's still the interviewer, she
yeah,
knows how to interview people. So creating something that lets people know that no matter what goes on around that falls
mm,
to the wayside, I've created a nice niche for myself that adds value, positioning people, interviewing people, helping them build authority. It's still
I love that.
some value there.
Well, that builds a lot of confidence. And by the way, I think I heard, I think it's Fox or Fox News that's buying Roku soon. I think. Uh,
Fox, yeah, $22 billion.
wow, that's all the money. That is a lot of
Cash
money.
and cash and stocks. I said, man, I can't be mad at you all.
Well, hopefully some of that is going to be coming your way. Uh, if you could choose three people to have dinner with, who would you choose and why? They could be alive, dead, or even fictitious characters.
One person I would love to have dinner with would be Regina King.
Hmm.
Because I never thought. I mean, I saw her. I saw. It's amazing. I think telling a friend of mine. A lot of people I saw as a kid. I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't have a connection to recognizing they were like me. I
Mm-hmm.
just saw them doing something grander. And I
Yes.
look back, we're the same age, but she's evolved, director, writer, producer. She's done these
Mm-hmm.
great things, and she's just a woman, and she's gone through some stuff. But I just admire her that she's unique, and she hasn't gone through had no challenges other than just what
Yes.
recently with life. But Regina King, I would love to tap into her mind and hear how she persevered through the whole industry and come out on top in what she's doing.
Mm. Powerful. Two more people.
Two more people. I will also on that same retrospect. I'll be nervous to talk to her though. Is Issa Rae? She just
Ah, yes.
she's a beast in what she does. She's just so outspoken and just
Mm-hmm.
she's there and she's very committed to what she does. And I think on the male side, I would if I could go back. Maybe if I go back until someone's passed away, maybe Madam T.J. Walker. I had a pleasure and honor
Yeah.
of interviewing her great granddaughter. But
Wow.
yeah, but I read her book. And what I learned about Madam T.J. Walker, which kind of I'm so insistent on helping others do the same. She owned her narrative. She
Mm-hmm.
knew all the different forms of media, press releases, radio. She
Yes.
understood that her narrative, she can control it, and she put it out there from what I read in her book. And so I would love to tap. And she was ahead of her game when it came to like I'll call it affiliate market. She did. I mean, she had affiliate marketing back in the day,
Yes.
but it was not called that. Her book is a great book. I have it right here. Let me see. If you have
Ah,
time, get her book on her
yes.
own ground. It's like getting a darn MBA because this lady was
Yes.
so fierce and she just knew
It's
what she
amazing.
wanted and she went after it.
Wow. Especially back then, she was the first Oprah, right? The first African American woman
Yeah,
millionaire in
yeah.
America. Amazing. Wow. Was that great selection? You talked about Regina King and Issa Rae, and of course, the great CJ Walker. Wow. Okay. Uh, what is a book that you have read that you would recommend to my audience? Of course, a book, not your own book.
That's it right here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
That's
beautiful.
it. If you want to go, this is I mean, this book is no joke. She's a beast. I'm telling you, and it's a great read. I
Mm.
was just in awe that she was so ahead of the game and so many things that she did. That's the book I would
On
recommend. It,
on ground, right?
yep. Hmm.
Yeah, I think there's actually Netflix, I believe, did the.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't like that show, okay?
It's you can watch it. Let me take that. It's great. I even her great Leah Bundles. It was a great start. It took forever
Mhm.
for someone to even do. Think it took forever. It took too long to even do something on her. Why hasn't that been a
Yes,
movie already done? So it's a
yeah,
great start. So if you want to get started, but then go back and read the book because the book is
yes,
much more deep and really has a lot more juice to it, and
yes,
it's amazing. There you go. You so fast on the draw. You quick on
yeah,
the draw.
yeah. That is powerful. Thank you for sharing that. I think part of the reason why I do this, I'm a little bit selfish. I want to know what I need to read next. So, thank you for
You
sharing that.
welcome.
All right. If you had one and only one day to live, what would you have liked your final contribution to be?
Ooh, one day. I would like my contribution to have curated a catalog of great stories from people,
Hmm.
and that people can go back and watch and learn like so many others, and that they can go back and it's like their legacy and their families can watch it. It's like here, I mean,
Mhm.
I never thought about being in this place, but when I've done people on the docu side of things and hearing people tell their stories and
Yes.
dive deep into their stories, like wow, you went through all of that. I've had somebody who's
Ah.
ex-military. He went from being in the Marines, FAA, and then he gets
Hmm.
to Atlanta and become homeless with his son here in Atlanta for 3 years. You hear his
Yeah.
story, and then he's on the other side of it now, author, speaker, and just never know someone's story
Yeah.
until you actually dive into it. And we don't know people's story until we hear it. And so it's
Yes.
having those types of story and be able to curate it and continue to expand on them. That's where I want people to have like she helped me tell my story or have a story
Okay.
that my name is there because iDefine TV helped create this sense of a
Ah,
story for many people.
so powerful. It looks like somebody else you need to put me in contact with so they can be on my
Oh,
podcast soon. That's really amazing. Very, very
yeah.
powerful. Wow.
Yeah.
Only in America. Is there maybe like a song or a book or a movie that would be your life's theme or anthem?
What's the question again now?
Is maybe a song, a book, or a movie that you would consider your life's theme or your anthem?
Hmm.
One that inspires you, or
I can't say that's one. Only thing I say my anthem is "Won't be denied,"
yes,
and
yes,
then I define. But "Won't be denied" was my mantra. It really was the mantra for
it's powerful.
all thing. And on Wednesdays, I will wear my "Won't be denied." I still have my T-shirt. I wear "Won't be
Yes,
denied." So it's
I love it.
yeah.
So, if you had like a magic wand, you could solve any problem in the world.
Oh,
What is the one problem you'd like to solve first thing tomorrow morning?
oh, that's a good question. I'm supposed to say that, but that's a good question. I would do love. I
Mm,
would have everybody know how to love each other.
yes,
And that way we all pray. Once you have love for everybody, then I think a lot of things will fall to the wayside.
yes.
More abundance will come, more creativity come. I think a lot of things. Once you get love worldwide, that
Wow.
would negate and everything else will fall to the wayside. We can help to work together. We can help get more of abundance. So I think love would be one that will come to solve.
I love that. And for the young people who are listening now who want to get into this creative space and
Mhm.
media and television, what would you tell them if you could talk to them for like a minute?
Well, the youth are they're very ambitious and they're fearless. I don't know these new people, these new kids these days. But I
Yes,
would say start where you are again, have fun with it, tap into it, and keep moving because they're very creative. They're very
yes,
intuitive what they do. So whatever you think about, seek out, get information, and come up with a game plan. One of the great books I would tell you to get if you're a young person or somebody new in the game, or even seasoned, The
mm-hmm.
E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
E-myth, yeah, yeah. I
Read
already have
that,
that.
not just read it, but do what he says. By the time you write out everything into you have a whole outline. And by the time you
Mm-hmm.
have the outline, it's one of the most conversational business books I have ever read. I've That's
Yes.
on Sarah and her baking her pies. I don't forget it. Sarah was having challenges, but by the time he got finished, she was a whole pro. It was very
Yes.
thought provoking. So get that book and roll through it.
I love that. I think he had the sequel, right? The E-myth with revisited. I think it was it published like in the early 2000, maybe 26 years ago. Yeah, I remember reading that one, and also there was one marketing for
Yeah, uh,
gurus. No,
it's something
it's
like
coming
that.
come back to me. But it was like how you do marketing with very very tight budget. Let me see. It will come back to me. Uh, street level marketing was it? Anyway, uh, that is a very very good book. Okay, so as we come to the end of the show, how can my audience bring value back to you? How can we add value to you, Sia?
Pretty much, anyone who's interested, want to share their story, or anyone interested to know more, they're feel free to reach out. You can just feel free to go to www.smile.idefinetv.com and or our website, and we connect and see how we can add value because everybody has a story. So everybody who said they want to have something presented on television or
Yes.
let me know they want their own show on TV, just reach out. Anything, or let's ask questions. You never know. Always ask questions.
Powerful. And also, if they want to get a copy of your first book, where do they go to get it?
You can go to won'tbedenied.com. That's my first book. Give me grace because I have not looked at that book. It's so funny because the cover is actually that's actually me on the cover.
Wow.
I had my mom has a friend who's an artist, and
Hmm.
she was going to do the artwork for me. And when she was moving too slow, I was all eager and everything. So I took a picture I set the camera up and everything. And I said, "This is
Wow.
what I want to be." I took a picture of that blood. It's like ketchup or something. I said, "Do it
Yes.
like this." So she took forever, and I maneuvered the my thing on my photo of my graphic image grid, and it came out like that. I said, "I don't need her," and I moved on. I said, "I ain't got to pay anybody." So that became my book cover. So
Wow.
that's actually me with
That's
the baseball
powerful.
cap on. She's kind of crazy, you see, but she didn't kill anybody. I don't think.
All right. So let me ask you this, maybe one of the most important questions for this
Mhm.
podcast. If you could go back and give a piece of advice, I'm going to guess you were probably 18, 19 year old, right? The end of your freshman year, and it looks like you were failing school.
Mm.
Standing at the edge of this incredible life and career you've had since, what would you say to that teenager, that 18, 19 year old girl who failed her first semester in college, CF Jackson? What would you tell her?
I think that's still the same thing. Keep moving forward, but also, if I can go back then, find that thing you're talented in and
Mm,
master it too. So not only to go ahead and get your degree, but find
yeah.
something and start paying attention to your gifts and your talents and start to work into that as well. I would love to be in college and have like the day these kids can actually have a side thing. I won't call it a hustle, but start them in that entrepreneur journey. I would have loved to have done that back then.
Mhm. Powerful, powerful. Okay, as we come to an end, if we can, we're gonna end in the next couple of minutes. I want to do a lightning round. I ask you a
Oh,
question, you answer me as quickly as you can. First thing
okay.
that comes out of your mind. Okay, one word that defines great leadership. One word.
One word, determination,
Okay, morning routine or practice that keeps you grounded.
meditation.
Okay, a book or a quote that changed your life. I think I know that.
Oh, Matthew J. Walker book is it changed my life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess the C.J. Walker book is a good one too. I'm gonna add it to
Yes,
our
yeah.
digital library. Okay, who inspired you the most today?
I would say a combination of both my grandmothers, and my mom.
Powerful. Okay, a leadership habit you refuse to compromise on. You're gonna do no matter what.
A leadership I refuse to compromise on. Taking action.
Okay, and the question every leader should ask themselves frequently.
Oh, who are ask themselves?
Often.
Am I in the right place?
Mm, powerful. And what did you want to be when you were a kid?
I want to be a lawyer.
Wow.
I want to be a lawyer. Then I came to realize that this is too much work.
Yes. Okay, three adjectives describing you as a child.
Oh, three adjectives as a child. I would say resourceful,
Mhm.
creative,
One more.
and I would say lighthearted. I was
Okay.
joyful.
What about as an adult?
I would say the same. I'm
Wow.
creative. I'm lighthearted, and then I guess people say I'm funny. I like to have fun, funny.
Okay, what is something you are feeling optimistic about? I like to end with on a positive note.
I'm optimistic about the projection of where things are going in terms of in entrepreneur space,
Hmm.
where things are. I'm happy for entrepreneurs because AI has helped so many people to get things done in a more expeditious manner because
Yeah.
it was a challenge for a lot of people getting things
Mhm.
done. So I'm very optimistic of where entrepreneurship is going, and for myself, I'm very optimistic where iDefine TV is going and continue to help people build their authority and how we can help people grow.
All right. Before I ask the very last question, is there a question I should have asked you? I didn't get a chance to ask. Anything else you want to share before we end the show?
I think great job. But you went down the rabbit hole. You did your investigative work. This is CSI. He is CSI. Everybody. He's FBI, CIA, he's DEA. He's everybody in the. But you did a great job. I think you did a great job overall. If
Thank you.
you have any questions, just reach out and I can help.
All right. The very last question. One word that represent our shared experience on this podcast today. One word.
Um, I'll say authentic.
Good. Thank you. And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, CF Jackson, everyone. Thank you for being one of our master teachers today.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. All right, everyone. That was CF Jackson. So I want everybody to follow her on LinkedIn. So that's linkedin.com in CF Jackson. Very easy. And a website, iDefineTelevision.com, if you want to be on TV. Just wonderful, wonderful. And also, like we talked about, she has her first novel, Won't Be Denied. And you can go to www.won'tbedenied.com. And you can get a copy of her very, very first novel. All right, so that's all I have planned for today. We won't have any interviews tomorrow. And believe day after tomorrow, I will come back. We're going to continue the study on the book of Proverbs. We're going to do Proverbs chapter 26. We did 25 last time. And this is not a religious podcast. It's about ancient wisdom and leadership lessons from the book of Proverbs. It's really amazing how a book written more than 2,000 years ago is still relevant today in 2026. All right, that is all I have for you. Thank you for watching. And on July the 3rd, that's going to be Friday. I'm going to be speaking with Sergeant Ellen Lohr, U.S. Air Force veteran. We're going to be talking about why are you here? Leadership, legacy, and living a life of service. And he's the best-selling author of Breakthrough Leadership. I can't wait to talk to him. He also has a nonprofit. He does a lot of work in Africa. I believe it's in Liberia, where he helps a lot of orphan and kids. And if we can support that would be great. All right, that's all I have for today. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If today's episode added value to your leadership journey, be sure to subscribe, share, and join us again for more wisdom nuggets on how to lead better and achieve greater success. Remember, leadership is the most critical skill of our time. The world will always need leaders to inspire others, drive innovation, and execute meaningful strategy. So why not count yourself among the bold leaders shaping the 21st century? Until next time, stay inspired, stay committed, and keep leading with excellence.